Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the best teams of version 3.4 of Gems of War. This is where we go and archive basically all of the decent teams, as well as the teams that have been improved upon due to changes that occurred, either because of mechanics or just because of stats being moved around. There was of course two major things that ended up occurring this patch, and that is the introduction of Doomskulls as well as the introduction of pets. With the introduction of Doomskulls, we ended up getting a Zoom Kingdom, as well as two insanely good troops with Doomskulls, being Bloodhammer and Glaceon. As far as pets are concerned, we now have a bunch of various bonuses, which now allow us to have higher stats whenever we use teams that use those little team bonus things. So pure teams of types, as well as kingdoms and pure color, have now gotten a lot stronger than they were in the past, making them possibly viable in some of the metas within the game. So today we're mainly just going to be going over all of the somewhat better teams at the moment. There's really only two that are really exceptionally viable at the moment, and that is 4 times Divine of any kind, as well as Doomskull spam. So let's just get into a couple of them. So very first off, let's go all the way down and start with one of the classics, Gorgulfa, Glaceon, Apothecary, King, Bloodhammer. A couple of different ways that this team can be built around, but it's pretty common due to the fact that it has a double tank up front. Not only is it good with Doomskulls, it's also pretty decent against other people who may also be using Doomskulls due to having 75% reduction on your Gorgulfa, as well as 65% reduction on the Glaceon. As far as the new mechanic of Doomskulls are concerned, if we could get one on the board, basically what they are is they, when you match them, they will do 5 additional damage to your skull damage, as well as they will explode everything around them and accumulate 70% of the mana, just like a normal explosion would, like off of Gorgulfa or something. So we'll just go get this, see if we have alignment. This is a yellow to blue as well as a red to skull, Doomskull convert, which we currently don't have, so we'll just clear the board, hopefully have alignment after that. And do we have it now? We do not, but we do have the other one. Do we have alignment on that one either? It looks like neither of them have alignment. I think this still gives it to us. No, he's going to get too much out of it. We'll just clear the board, and then we'll be able to get it right after. And once we get it, we pretty much auto-win, so I'll double-check both of the alignments. Looks like we go for this one first, so we will guarantee have the Glaceon. Guarantee have the Bloodhammer just waiting, and then you basically just keep looping them back and forth and just keep hitting with ridiculously high skull damage. There really isn't any counter to this, and it just tears through absolutely everything. You've got 2 maps because it cascades just so heavily. Even at the end there, you saw we got about 11 times cascade. Very, very powerful. The Doom Storm in general was added pretty last minute. They did it like a few weeks, if not the last week, like right before he ended up getting introduced to the game. And he's just been one of the strongest troops in the entire game ever since. They might be tweaking it into the future, but at this current moment, that Doom Storm is insanely powerful. So next up, pretty classic Divine team. Divines are very strong right now too. Ever since Divine Ishbala came to the game, basically there's always been at least one Divine team as the absolute best team in the game, and that hasn't changed at all. Now we have a new mythic that ended up getting introduced called Ubistet. He now has a instant double kill. It's also a little bit glitchy, which makes it even more powerful than it should be, and it can easily pick off things that have summon and as such as well. So he just gave us a super perfect board right there. We'll throw that right into an Infernus. He did gain a bit of HP from that, so I don't think I actually have enough damage to kill him. We could go calculate it out, though. I think it might just be easier tapping him and then going from there. Better just let Burn do one little poke. We could go calculate it, but you know what? We'll just take the skull, throw the double hit, guarantee that we get the kill, just in case that wasn't enough damage. Get his mana right back, throw Infernus, go for the damage, and that'll pretty much be that. Infernus, of course, didn't actually end up getting nerfed this patch. So we do have still very high damage on him, and we'll be able to just tear apart everything that way. Throw down the Infernus, and we'll need one more little cast, and I'll take it out. Take the red, go for the yellow, and that will be match off of that. So let's go into the next one. Next up, we have, if it'll load. Next up, we have ourselves a quicker version of the Doomskull team. Pretty commonly, you will see a King Highforge with this. There were a lot of dwarves that were introduced into the new kingdom, and while dwarf 50% all mana isn't the most popular of things, more so kind of just used for guild wars and such, it did become slightly more viable now that you can use it to get King Bloodhammer to half starting mana, so that he can start getting his convert ready, as well as the fact that it falls right into Apothecary, and then you could use something like a Gorgulfa or a Glaceon as your frontline tank and be good to go. The Glaceon or the Gorgulfa doesn't actually gain any mana from it, but still, it functions as a proper tank. Glaceon at this current moment in time time has the third highest skull reduction in the game at 65%, and it gets used very similarly to that of a Gorgoltha in most instances. Not so for the mana accumulation, but more so as a frontline tank. So right here, no really good alignments, no really good anything that's worth going for, so I guess we go for Red Surge for now and just see what happens from there. Since we're starting with half mana on him, we can simply just go straight into his mana if we so choose, and due to lack of option, that does appear to be exactly what we're going to go do. So we don't have any alignment. Apothecary is also not being the nicest to us, so I guess we're going to get rid of our reds here. Not really something I want to do, but if it can get us the board we need, it might be worth it, though still... Don't really have much to do here, so we'll just go get Apothecary right back up, start working up its mana, until we can get some kind of alignment going. I believe one more Apothecary into clearing a good majority of this board will get us to a point where we could do something. Biggest issue at the moment is there's very few skulls on the board, right in time for Famine, wow. Of course, Famine, as always, still an insanely good counter to stuff. Very few mana drains in the game. Even though they added mana drain immunity in the past, they added so few of them that there really isn't too many ways to really counter it. As you can see, or the mana drain that is. As you can see, Doomskulls are the exact same way. They just tear through everything. Even if you entangle it, you still do a lot of damage. So the only way to really truly get it mitigated is if you use Entangle plus like a Gorgoltha or something, or a Glaceon, just to really reduce down its damage potential. So we'll repick this because that's not a legitimate team. There we go. Ooh, let's take the Revenge instead. But let's go over to the Converters now. This isn't... oh, that's one of the teams I'll be showing. Well, it looks like we get to see a preview of it before we actually get to use it. But next up, this one is more so just to show the two troops that end up coming in. Spirit Dancer and Tapon. They are both really, really good mana accumulators that were added in this current version of the game. There are many ways to use them. Spirit Dancer more so is used into really big greens. As you can see here, we actually have no mana conflict with it into a Ward Breaker, and there's a few other instances of that you can use throughout various troops. But it's also very commonly used into infinite mana generating. Let's say if you were to go to use like a her into a giant spider or some kind of double combo of the such, you can end up getting the mana loop back and forth, just go and fill two other troops that use green and purple, and be pretty well to go do that. Of course, Green Seer can already currently do that, but it does allow you for different mana options. There isn't anything too over the top with it still, but it's still realistic to use. Main reason I say nothing too over the top is because you already are going to be having that slight purple conflict with the fact that one of the best things that her into a purple mana generator is going to be put into is mainly Kraken, and Kraken already had the Green Seer combination, which again was kind of already here. But still, we'll be able to get that convert. We finally got a new version of Mercy this patch, basically in a troop that starts with Empowered that has a convert immediately. It's nowhere near as good as a Mercy, but it is still pretty viable in getting all the mana that you'll end up needing for anything on your team. So for right here, we're just basically going to be going back and forth and just constantly getting all of our mana back into the Ward Breaker. Ideally, with this team, you'll be able to just infinitely fill everything back into Ward Breaker, because you have 3 different mana options, 2 of which are converts, which generally do not lose their turn when you go and get their mana back. So it looks like he's going to get a decent amount of damage here. He has Ubistet too, so he could easily double kill us. Luckily, we ever so barely survive that, and then you just keep putting all of your mana always back into the Ward Breaker, and then it'll just win out everything like that. And it looks like we got the... Oh, no, we didn't get an extra turn, but we could easily just go kill it. Get the little Doomskull in there. Doomskulls also, as of this patch, start falling off onto the board. 10% of all skulls that should have been on the board that would have just been a normal skull are now Doomskulls. So even if you're not using anything that has Doomskulls on your team, you're still going to be getting Doomskulls into the battle, as you saw there. So next up, we kind of already saw this team, but we have Divine Protector, Infernus, Ubistet, and Divine Ishbala. Spoilers, this is actually going to probably be the best team in next patch. It's also pretty much the best team in this patch as well, but even more so next patch because of changes that are going to be happening both to this weapon as well as to the hero class in general. But basically, it'll be Priest class, which is the only Divine hero class at this current moment in time, followed by the other 3 pretty solid Divines, which is Infernus, Ubistet, and Divine Ishbala. Other spoilers, I don't believe I even mentioned at the beginning of this video. I forget if I did, which is kind of bad, but... next patch is tomorrow, for any of you that don't know. Salty did just announce it, and yeah, it's literally tomorrow. So if you're wondering why I'm doing this video right now, that is why. But we'll go and throw that down, get our ability down. Do keep in mind that most of these teams, if not all of them, will be just as good, if not better. Like this team will be even better in next patch. So just because this next patch doesn't mean that they're instantly becoming non-viable. It's just this current version. Some of the better things for it. But we'll throw the Infernus down, try getting another Ubistet. As you can see, this weapon is just insanely good. They actually boosted these types of weapons as well. That was another thing that ended up changing during this patch. It seemed like it was going to be a pretty small change, but then everyone kind of realized that Divine Protector is insanely good with it because of how good Divines already are. Most of the other weapons that get this exact same change didn't really benefit much, but they increased the boost ratio as well as the base damage on it, which in the context of Divine Protector made it way, way, way more powerful than what it was before. And you end up accumulating a lot of the manas that Divines generally use, both red and yellow, which almost every Divine in the game ends up using one of those two colors. And as you can see in this case, every single one of ours does, pretty much, or literally does, at least one of them. Okay, so he's going to throw Infernus. He also has the other Convert, neither of which we need to worry about much, so we'll just take the red into red. Didn't actually get it, does give him the extra turn, but he's already at full mana, so not too big a deal there. He does look like he's going to get a Convert. Don't think I could stop it, but we did get that. We could go just throw into Skulls, kill him with the final hit. And never mind, I don't even need a follow-up. We can just let Burn kill it out. But we'll go with the Divine Protector, get our extra turn. Very, very easy to get extra turn with this weapon when you're using a full Divine team. And there we go. So, on to the final one. There was one other buff that ended up coming into the game as well. Oh no! 4 times Goblins! Dun dun dun! 4 times Goblins, of course, is still viable on defense. That's never going to change. Unless they add instantly freeze all enemies at the start of battle. That will always be viable. But anyways, another one using Typhon, as well as using King Mikhail buff. Even though I didn't go over it too much this patch, King Mikhail did get buffed this patch. And while it isn't the most viable thing for everything, it is particularly decent at countering out traits. Because it ends up gaining enrage whenever it matches Brown. And you can use this enrage to hit through any of the traits that they may have. So he has a 20% chance to dodge skulls. It's normally used for things like Gorgolfa, which has a 75% skull reduction, and as such, in order to basically just tear them down. So you throw a Yagwe, hit it down, go and just kill it with an enraged skull, and pretty much just go from there. He also has really high AoE damage, which was also increased this patch. Before it was only about like 23 with the boost. Now it can hit at least with max stats all the way up to 31, which is quite a bit of a increase compared to before. And we can use the Typhon to go into Yagwe, Queen Titania. One other pretty decent one, which was already from previous patches, but still particularly noteworthy, is using Alchemist Moneylender Queen Titania. Oh, sorry, Alchemist Moneylender Yagwe Queen Titania. Still a very, very strong combination, but that doesn't use anything new. But we'll go for that. Get a Yagwe in here. Go get that immediately, so we pretty much just take it out. Throw the Queen Titania if we have it. Throw another Yagwe if we have it, which we do. And as you can see, we already won. King Mikhail, take it for skulls, and dead. And yep, that's pretty much the team in a nutshell. Though that obviously was a little bit more luckier than it normally goes, but still, it still goes somewhat similar to that most of the times that you use it. But anyways, that is everything in this current patch that is pretty powerful. Well, not absolutely everything, just more so the things that use all of the new mechanics. Of course, many things from the past still insanely good as always. Still Queen Mab Justice Team, which I believe this is. Oh no, like this Farce Troll, Nyx, Dawnbringer, Queen Mab, all those kind of things. Still very viable, but of course these version videos are mainly to archive the things that actually got introduced into the patch specifically, not old content that is still good. But if you guys still have any other teams that you wish to share yourself, feel free to leave them below in the comment section, because there's definitely a lot of fun ones if you'd like to share any of your better teams that are out there. But anyways, yes, version 3.5 is just around the corner. Get your Divine team ready, because it is going to be very good. All hero classes are getting buffed. We're going to be getting a bunch of weapon buffs, so basically hero is going to be best in slot on every possible team. So any team that's already good with a hero is going to be even better with a hero, so a lot of fun stuff coming in next patch right around the corner. So anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye, everyone!